everyone, it's Shel C from PaperOcotilloStudio, and today I'm sharing with you a mixed media altered tag. I had 2 altered tag challenges left for the month of February. It's almost the end of the month. And so I decided to combine them. This is the Tag It Tuesday Challenge Facebook group from Sherry Whitfield and our Pick a Stick Challenge altered tag, which we added for the first time this February because there wasn't one, and we thought we would add another one. The Pick a Stick Challenge Facebook group has been doing so well. They've been making so many things and posting so much stuff, and so we thought maybe they'd want an extra one, so we added an alter tag challenge. So I just decided to alternate one from Tag It Tuesday, then one from Tag Challenge, and back and forth. The first prompt was to add 1 letter from your name. So I used a water-soluble pencil, that's the Stabilo graphite colored one, to make S's all over my tag. And then the second prompt that I used is from the Pick a Stick Challenge tag. So I'm just alternating back and forth. And it's blend. So I used some gelatos, which are a water-soluble, waxy, blendable stuff in a lipstick container, basically, where you can like turn it up like lipstick. And I'm just using that, some colors from it, from the sticks. And first I blended it with a sponge and some white gesso, and it got a little bit too light, so I decided to put another coat on and blend it with a wet finger, which it's very easy to blend. It's creamy kind of. So that was blend. So I've done two of the prompts. The next prompt, back again to the Tag It Tuesday, was add numbers. And I had this scrap piece of tissue that I got recently on the outside of an envelope, and I tore it off and thought that it would be interesting to use. It's on some sort of a tissue or rice paper, and so another one of the prompts back again to the other challenge is tissue. So I decided to add this piece of tissue with numbers on it to kind of cover both of those prompts. It has some paint or something on it. It's got these numbers stenciled or stamped on it, and it's in the right color families of what I was using. The tag challenge from Pick a Stick has fuchsia, which is a intense pink color, and so I wanted to make sure that that color was on there, and I think it goes well with orange, so I was blending those colors, and purples, oranges, fuchsias, those colors all go together. So I decided to add a little bit more fuchsia, and I had this alcohol ink pearly alcohol ink, which has shimmer in it, sitting on my desk. And so I grabbed that and I'm making some drips down one side of the tag. This is just pure playing for me. I haven't planned anything. I'm not fussing about anything. I'm not worrying about anything. Just grabbing whatever's handy and making my tag, just kind of following along with these prompts. It's so easy to do this, and it's, when you have a prompt list, it just gives you some place to start from, and then you can just grab whatever and just play with it. These prompts are so mixable and interchangeable and malleable to what you think they might be. From Pick a Stick Challenge, we just give you one word. Sherry gives you like a direction or whatever. So the next thing was Doodle with a white pen. So I grabbed my white fine tip Posca pen. This is an acrylic paint pen made by Uni. And I order these in groups of 3 at a time from Japan because I love them so much. I use this on almost every project that I do, no matter what it is. So I traced around some of those rectangular shapes that were in paint. And then I put some splatters and some squiggles on the side. And then the next prompt that I was using was knife. And so I just took the knife, X-Acto knife, and I cut a wavy line down the side of the tag. It's fun to alter, to add an interesting shape to a tag. You can, tear it, you can trim it with decorative scissors, whatever, and I just figured I'd just make a wavy line. Then I decided I would go even farther and cut out some of the tag using the knife, cutting out some of those rectangular shapes, just for fun. Sure, why not? That's just how it goes. The next prompt was to fussy cut something and attach it. And I had just participated in this stamped tissue paper swap. And I got these images from someone in the swap, and I thought I would just grab one of those since tissue was also one of the prompts at the time. I just figured, why not? I'll just add a tissue stamped image. So this was basically you just stamp some stamped images that you happen to own and stamp them on tissue with a permanent ink like archival or StazOn or something like that, and then send it to someone else, and in return you receive some from them. So it just builds up your stash of things that you might have available to use, and you don't have to buy all those stamps, and they're really easy to use. So I just fussy cut that out using a water brush because I like the way the tissue tears, and it makes it more interesting when I attach it. And then I'm using some Liquitex matte fluid medium to attach it to the tag. Before I did that, I put an extra layer on the tag so that there would be a border around the edge, as well as filling in those holes that I cut out, because I'm going to attach something on the top of it and it would have holes, and I wasn't sure that that would be the perfect thing to do with this very thin paper. It might have been interesting, actually, because it would have been transparent, but the paper on a tissue paper is so thin that I'm sure it would tear. So I put a layer of purple plum type colored cardstock on the back and left a little border around it, which is something I like to do with my tags anyway and my ATCs. So then I attached that bird image, and now I am using some white gesso to kind of fill it in so that I can color it, because I wanted it to stand out from the background. So this is just watered down gesso. I can still see the lines underneath, and it's just giving it something kind of rough for my paint to adhere to, and then also lightening up that area. The final prompt was scratch. This is fun to do if you have a skewer or a ball stylus or even a pen that doesn't have any ink left. You can put some type of paint on your project and then scratch marks into it, and it's just fun, something fun to do. So I threw a little bit of white gesso that's still on my palette there in places, and then used my skewer stick to scratch, and it makes a texture, and in the close-ups at the end you'll be able to see the texture. You can't really see it in the video, but you can always look at those photographs at the end to really see what something looks like. So then I wanted to color in this bird. You know, this is something I would draw. I don't know what company makes this stamp or where it came from, obviously, because I got it in a swap, so I have no idea. But I could see me drawing something like this. It has some doodly pictures on the inside. It's a basic shape with doodles, and I think it's very interesting. I like it. That was probably one of the first ones that drew my eye of all the ones that I received. I just thought it was cool. So I'm using the gelatos again, and this time I'm using the metallic ones. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe 6 there in the set that have mica in them, and I've already got that kind of shimmery stuff from the pearl alcohol ink in the background, so I figured I'd continue on with this shimmery, shiny type of an idea. So I'm just pressing the gelato onto my paper and scratching it on there, and then using a watercolor brush and some water to pick up that pigment and mica and color in my little birdie. So I had some purple, some kind of mint, tealy minty color, some kind of a corally orange, and then some gold. And those are the colors that I used to color in the bird. And they are shimmery. When you see it up close, I'm looking at it right now, and like make it shine into the light, you can see that they're metallic-y shimmery. But I know it's hard to see in the video. It's just how it is with video. So then I used my black fine tip Posca to go over and draw back in the lines, because now they're almost obliterated because of the gesso, and then also the gelato over the top. So I need to bring them back. Probably not as neatly done as they were in the original stamp, of course, because I'm just like hurrying, you know, I'm not being fussy or anything or real careful. I'm just drawing where those lines are so that they can come back. And yeah, what else did I do? Oh, yes, the bird, it was floating. And you know, I just can't stand that. It doesn't have its wings open, therefore it's not flying, so it shouldn't just be floating in the middle of the world there. I did add a little bit more gelato directly onto the image. In a couple places, I made the bird's little cheek area kind of pink. But yes, back to the floating. It needed something to stand on. So I drew a little branch with the black Posca pen so that the bird is standing on something and not just floating in the air, because I think things should be grounded. I had a little catch light with the white pen, still doing a little bit of the bringing out of the black lines. And then in the areas where I had done the scratching onto the white gesso, I just used my finger and a little bit of that leftover gelato to kind of color those areas and blend them in so that they aren't as stark against the background. Then I thought it needed a little bit more something. You know, those letters are at the top, I mean, those numbers are at the top, and it didn't seem balanced. So I got out this pack of rub-ons from Tim Holtz Distress that I received in Happy Mail, and I cut out a few of the different things and rubbed them on, and then went over them with a little bit of that leftover purple metallic just to kind of blend them in a little bit. Rub-ons are fun and interesting and something that you can just kind of have to use. So the only thing that sometimes bothers me about them is if they don't transfer well, but these transferred very well. They were easy to transfer. Excuse me. So I was happy with that. I put one documented stuff I like. This is stuff I like. These are colors that I like. These are images that I like. This is a style that I like. And so documented stuff that I like sounded like a good thing to put on there. I hope you're enjoying this project. If you are, please remember to give it a thumbs up. Leave me a comment or question below. Subscribe if you haven't already. Share this if you want to on Pinterest or Facebook. And all those things really help me out. In addition, I will also put a list of supplies and a link to my Amazon store down below so that you can find the things that I used and perhaps purchase them. If you do, it gives me a few cents towards new art supplies from Amazon. So that's always helpful. So I have some different types of stick-on gems, and I'm just sticking them around just to add to the sparkle of the tag. I think stick-on gems are really pretty, and I've been collecting them. If I see some that aren't too expensive, I purchase them, and then lots of people have sent me them over the years in Happy Mail. So that's a good thing to send in Happy Mail. I always am happy when I see those sparkly little plastic gems. So I attached purple, light purple, a little bit of, I think, a blue one, and a little bit of orangey, rusty colored ones, coppery ones. And then the final thing I did was just to add a little bit of sparkle using a Stickles glitter glue, which keeps getting clogged. I keep having to clear it out. And then I added a ribbon, which is a sari silk, they call it yarn, but basically they've taken saris and recycled them by tearing them into strips, sewing them together, and making them into something that you can knit or crochet with. And it's just pretty. It's pretty. So that's it for me, and here comes your close-ups. Bye-bye.